Welcome to Level Up, where you get the score on video games. Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon seem to have a lot in common. Not only have they always had the same publishers, but both are mascot-type characters originally exclusive to PlayStation, with platforming games where their floating partner is their health and living in worlds of talking animals. It seemed natural that they would have a crossover, and in 2004, developers Vicarious Visions and publishers Vivendi Games made this a reality. They made two games, Crash Bandicoot Purple, Ripto's Rampage, and Spyro Orange, The Cortex Conspiracy. Anyone else hear Pokemon ripped off with the color titles, by the way? In 2005, both were made available in one cartridge, the Crash Spyro Superpack for the Game Boy Advance. Let's take a look at it. The game starts out with the villains, Neo Cortex and Ripto, discussing how they plan on getting rid of their respective rivals by creating genetically enhanced Riptocs and disguising them as Crash and Spyro, so if they meet up, they'll fight each other. This backfires when not only do Crash and Spyro heroically team up, but they start bickering amongst themselves. With Crash and Spyro working together, they travel through a few worlds until eventually they realize the best way to beat Cortex and Ripto is to go in each other's world in a very surreal moment. Okay, so the story is typical, but the moment where that happens makes it pretty much worth it. Also, between the two games, there are naturally some differences in the storytelling, but none that makes any difference. Yeah, you'll hear that a couple more times in this review. The gameplay on both sides is pretty much the same, so having these two platforming game stars on the GBA would make you think that this is a grand platforming adventure to test your skills. Disappointingly, it is not. Platforming represents about 25% of the gameplay. The other 75% is in mini-games. Throughout a level, there are 5 mini-games that you must beat in order to move to the next level. And though it does take some platforming skills to get to all 5 and the exit, a minimum is required. The mini-games range from the fun breakout copy to the annoyingly long side-scrolling shooter-inspired ones. It suffices to say that the gameplay misses its mark, but has some fun instances. If I had to recommend either version on top of the other, I would have to say go at Crash's game instead of Spyro's, mostly due to the minigames. Crash's games are original and have a better variety, while most of Spyro's are the side-scrollers. Also, you'll have to play Spyro's minigames 3 times to unlock the last level, which I am telling you now so you don't have to walk back to the start since there's no map system and do it all over again, like I did the first time. Crash avoids this by having the player find or unlock gems, which means he also has more games available. Even graphic-wise, I'd go with Crash over Spyro, since Crash still looks like himself, but Spyro looks like one of the donkey children from Disney's Pinocchio painted purple. Granted, you can't say that one should be much preferred over the other, since they're pretty much the same, but if you really need to just get one, and I mean really need to just get one and only one, go with Crash Purple. What is with these what should be epic crossovers becoming nothing more than a collection of minigames? Not only is there this, but when Mario and Sonic finally meet up, it's for the Olympic Games. Sorry for going off track, but it is a concern, especially since this would have made such a great adventure game. Nonetheless, it can be really fun, so much so that I've beaten both games twice. Plus, the pure fact that they did this crossover to begin with is reason enough to play the game. As I've said at the start, this was originally released as 2 games and later combined into one, but I honestly would not suggest you get these games separately and just get the Crash Spyro Superpack like I did. This is also why I'm only giving them 1 rating, and also since they're so similar, the difference would only be half a level. I give the Crash Spyro Superpack for the Game Boy Advance 7 levels out of 10. I'm Leo Melanson, and now you know the score.